All right, here we go. The Thursday morning, the day after. And, man, have I heard some overreactions across the board when it came to last night's basketball game that, mind you, I mean, I had to be prodded with a cattle prod to stay invested in the second half. And it's the same thing that happened, I told you, with Brooklyn, with Milwaukee, with Denver. It's just pounding into the ground of a basketball team. And there was no life for Washington whatsoever, Bradley Beal aside, of course. So the Sixers do exactly what we needed them to do, and then it just came with all of this. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't go pom-poms in the street today for destroying an 8 seed in game 2 of the first round of the playoffs. Because I want to rip the Knicks fans for doing that. So I can't then do that as well and be as hypocritical as, I guess, everybody else in this world. So I don't know. Maybe just looking at it that way.
No, I mean, they did what they should have done, and that's make the game boring because they were just in complete control. And I was with you. I was out at an establishment last night taking in the game along with the hockey game. And, it took, in that third quarter, there's times where I wasn't even looking at the Sixers game. Because I knew it was so well in hand and they were just, controlling Washington at every turn. And that's what they needed to do. And, make this boring, make this a 4-0 sweep and let's move on. But yeah, it doesn't give me any indication to think like all of a sudden, because they're doing this, they're going to win the NBA finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just take the next opponent, probably New York, and we'll work with them.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that we kind of said it was going to happen anyways. Look at where the pattern of the NBA playoffs was going, the teams that played kind of down to the other guys' playing level happened the first game, and it's usually the first game is usually the game that the team that's lesser of the two. Usually, if they're going to have any chance, they're going to beat them in the first game.
Right.
Well,
especially with a team with a long layoff.
Exactly. So, I mean, it happened to what we said. They were going to go out. They're going to blow them out. Totally dominated. But I mean, there were some highlights on there. Big Ben, 22
played great.
Hold on. Let me slow down. I'm sorry. Ben, 22 points. Big Ben is in Pittsburgh. Ben, 22 points. Defensively, he shut down Westbrook.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that. That's playing at a championship level.
Yep.
They play like a number 1 seed. So, I mean, the expectation was there. They went up there, fulfilled my expectations for once, and let's move on. Let's get 2 and 3 out of here, and we're off to whoever's next.
Big Ben is in Pittsburgh, but Ben played big last night.
No question about that.
Yeah. Look,
aggressive.
He played that way defensively and other ways too in the first game, but people focused on the 6 points.
Well, on the 0 for 6 from the free throw line too.
But
staggering.
The game itself was not pretty, and that's pretty much what we've seen all year. Now, look, I'll say this because I was going to listen to Kyle Neubeck this morning, who was making an appearance on WIP, and I found out when I turned on the radio that Angelo was out, and our old pal, the three of us who have worked with him extensively in the past, Joe DeCamera, was filling in for Angelo.
Oh,
First statement. I'm sorry.
Marks did it the other day.
So I don't know what who knows.
Yeah.
But his first statement leading into Kyle Neubeck was, after last night, I feel way more confident about the Sixers' run to win the NBA Finals. And I'm thinking to myself, Joe,
why?
Oh no, baby, what is you doing? Like,
I love you, but geez.
You're still caught up on the cheesesteak. So I don't know if I can take that from you right now, man. You think the cheesesteak is still gonna woo us into a place of stagnant hopelessness as far as getting to the championship? You think that we're still at a point where the cheesesteak is going to hinder us from doing it? No,
because the sports gods are angered.
Well, look what happened. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example of how this has already played out to a smaller standpoint. It's only going to get worse. You had the game of the playoffs last night when it came to just controlling and tempo. It didn't even need to be the biggest blowout, but just the game as far as Washington was like a little brother or sister getting pinned down by their older sibling. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. It was like the entire game. And what's one, if not the biggest thing being talked about today?
Popcorn.
Yes. All right. So already the sports gods have infiltrated this series and have made it known that even if the Sixers or when the Sixers advance, we aren't going to truly be able to enjoy it because of popcorn.
Popcorn. Yes.
Well, I'm not looking at it like that.
Asshole dump popcorn on Russell Westbrook.
Right.
But that is a travesty, man. In fact, see, I don't understand that. If you're a fan, you do something like that, then you should be able to suffer the consequences of doing that. You wouldn't do that in a man's face.
No.
You wouldn't go out there and do it, if he was standing right in front of him. So why do it from up there?
And I love how the fans just pointed him out.
Right,
No, it was him.
Right there. Yeah, exactly.
An under-discussed element of the story, Harry, is you're right, is that people just pointed him out right away.
And you caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. It is a Thursday edition, and the Sixers have just released a statement. And I feel like in honor of what's happening here, where the Wells Fargo Center, where the Sixers play, and the Philadelphia 76ers, who rent space at the Wells Fargo Center, have come together and made official statements, not collectively, but individually. And apology is in the latest. So far be it for me to be above all of this. Yesterday, I came down on Barrett because at the end of the first segment, I heard him keep going late into the segment. And I was told by Ron Culver in the break that Barrett actually nailed it.
He hit the post.
Yes. So I would like to apologize to Barrett Brooks and the JAKIB Media YouTube community for being subjected to this type of unacceptable and disrespectful behavior. There is no place for it on our program or our channel.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's great. But you also lumped me into that.
Well, because you are a violator as well.
Yeah, no, I'm very rarely a violator.
But you are, and I'll tell you exactly when you violate is something has pissed you off before the show has started, and it's about like a minute and before we get on, and you're going to get it out there no matter what. You're going to let everybody know that you're upset no matter if you get it in a minute or not. At least Barrett's trying at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, like right about now, when it hits 8,
right,
11:08, then you should be trying to slow it down a little bit.
Wrap it up.
Slow it down a little bit.
Look at this. All right, we've got popcorn. We should start with the game, right? I know we talked a little bit about the game. We'll continue to talk about the game and really the series. Look, there's another one tonight where I don't know what the hell is going on. This Lakers Suns game has been off the board for the past 10 hours.
Uh-oh.
So who knows what's going to happen with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Pops slammed last night. All right. And we're going to do it all again, man. We're 2 for 2 on these nights, 8 for 10 at least. Go ahead. Anthony Simons, by the way, over 5.5. That's your lock of the night. It's the middle. Now we can talk. Go ahead. You may continue.
Who's your over tonight?
Actually, I have a couple that I played, but if you can find, some books won't have it out there. If you can find Anthony Simons at 5.5 points, I really like the over there. I'll tell you though, as far as like the strongest plays, I have 3 really strong plays tonight. Under PRAs for Kuzma and Gordon and James. And then under rebounds for Kuzma.
Wow.
But look, last night, I mean, a lot of that hit last night. A lot
of unders or overs?
Well, the only over that hit was Trae Young.
Okay.
Look at Embiid, right? This is a perfect example of what we see versus like how, or alongside like how the league works. I mean, they were up by 20 in the third, and he only had what, 18, 19 points?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think what happens is all of us, right? We get caught up in the star-driven element of each and every game. And it's like, oh man, if the Sixers, they're going to blow Washington out. Embiid's going to have 40 and Tobias is going to have 30. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, you can control a game and get to Ben Simmons at 22 last night.
Yeah, and a lot of that was in the first quarter.
Yeah,
he was aggressive.
Like Joe Harris the other night with 16 in the first quarter.
And Embiid was great with the double team.
Correct.
Great. Yes, he was.
Yeah, great.
He timed that perfectly throughout the game, man.
Yep.
You know, so
threes.
They really slumped off on playing Russell. You know, they really didn't fear Russell in this game, you know, which is surprising to me because I thought Russell was going to come out with a much more aggressive game. I mean, he's aggressive at time, you know, like that rebound dunk. I mean, that just showed, that set the tempo.
That got the crowd into it.
Oh,
too.
no question, no question.
Yeah.
But the way Ben played him and sagged off on Beal, you know, it's almost like totally disrespecting Westbrook's cutting to the basket or anything else. Just showed, you know, that Russell was going, you know, he was looking to be a distributor as opposed to being a facilitator, man. 10 points, you needed more out of him. But the fact he only had 6 rebounds, that's huge, man. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because he led the team in rebounds the last 3 or 4 games.
Man.
I was listening to that's in all seriousness, I did want to listen to Newbeck this morning, and he was making a point about just how physical Ben was on the boards.
Yeah.
Especially on the offensive boards, and just how difficult he is when he's physical down there, especially when you see these lineups with like Bertans and, you know, dudes that the fan would be able to kick their ass.
Right. And that's what frustrates the Sixers fan is when they see how he can be like he was last night. Like, we need that more consistently. It's not about shooting threes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you'll never get that, though.
This is the middle on the Sports Map.
Never get what?
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Like 22 on a nightly basis.
Studios. Here's
Why not?
Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. I can tell you exactly what's happening around the city right now. Okay. You have one place, and they're leading, and they're doing whatever they want, that is already taking calls and interactions on Twitter about why dumping the popcorn wasn't that big of a deal. So that's what's happening at one place, which is people that are contrarian now coming out and saying, well, I saw the overreaction last night, so this is why it's not a big deal. And of course, there's always going to be one caller from somewhere that's going to call in and agree, and then that's your show. The other place, and I've seen this way too often, the other place thinks in order to make up any room, they have to pander. So what's going to be talked about at length today is, well, yeah, that was bad, but why isn't ESPN talking about Trae Young, or why aren't they talking about what happened with the fight in the baseball game? That's what's going to happen over there.
Right.
You've done many shows where that's popped up.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Yeah.
I was trying to find some sort of maybe middle or like different ground that the three of us can stand on when talking about the game and the popcorn incident as well, because I imagine Barrett would probably want to go up to the stands as well if somebody dumped stuff on him.
No, Barrett would have went up in the stands and did more than dump popcorn. You just can't do that, man. Just like I was saying before, you wouldn't do that in that man's face. You wouldn't throw popcorn in his face if you was face to face.
Right.
To me, that's almost like a keyboard gangster, but he's a popcorn gangster.
Right, with the egg profile. Right on Twitter. But all right, let me throw this in here because I did not see the actual dumping. We saw the guy pointing him out, you know.
Right.
I think he had a white shirt on and he was like a row or two behind the guy who was pointing at him. I assume that was the guy.
Yep.
How do we know that the guy just didn't lose control of the popcorn box, which has happened to me in a movie theater where I just kind of had the buttery fingers and it slipped out of my hand and I fumbled the popcorn.
Because he had to lift up the little guard, whatever it is, the little fabric thing. He had to lift it up.
There's
curtain
like netting there.
Yeah, he had to lift it up and throw it down in there. I saw it. Yeah,
there's not like a opening there that's already exists and it just slid in there.
No,
I know what you're saying, and it's not like a balcony. Like if you're sitting over a balcony, people have dropped anything from babies to popcorn, right? Like I get it. And this looked like on the video and from looking at the arena, this looked like there needed to be a second act. Like there needed to be a willful act of picking something up to slide.
Yes.
Because remember, this
it's on tape. They showed it.
Yes, and it's happening right as Russell Westbrook is underneath that.
Yep.
Okay, so the timing was perfect.
Exactly.
In other
Exactly.
words.
It wasn't.
You would have a better chance of Gary Player's son saying, no, it was coincidental.
Okay.
And you would on this by a minute.
All right. Well, there's that, and then there's what I saw or heard Scott Van Pelt talk about last night. No, he did not throw the blanket over Philadelphia sports fans. He said this is an individual fan issue. This is not a Philadelphia issue.
Right.
I thought he handled it really well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, from Santa Claus to Michael Irvin, we're always going to get the blunt end of the stick. Right. You know, we'll never get the
Look, it's Barrett. It's not just that. We had a guy who forcefully vomited on a young girl at a Phillies game.
At a baseball game, yeah.
Like that wasn't 40 years ago.
Right.
So, you know, this is where I always come back to, and I always get flack from the people that love to pander, which is we should always be self-policing first and foremost. This whole whataboutism stuff, it doesn't work in politics. It doesn't work in social issues. It's not going to work in fandom, you know? Yeah. It seriously, like, because it's always going to come back at you. And look, Boston right now, because of what Kyrie Irving said, right or wrong, Boston right now as an entire city is being labeled and being discussed as such. And there aren't individuals that are getting benefits of the doubt about being good fans or not. So that's what we always try to avoid here, right, is being wrapped up in all of that.
Well, we will never get that. I don't believe we will. And at this point, I mean, it was, you know, it was a amplified for the playoff game. I mean, you know, going into the playoffs when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Minnesota, they came in, they threw first blood. They put a jersey on Rocky. How dare you put a jersey on Rocky and not think that you're going to face the repercussions of doing that?
Damn thing down. That's what they should have done.
No, man. I mean,
I know they were tearing statues down all last summer. Why couldn't they have taken that one down?
Harry, I never agree with you more. All right,
seriously,
that's what they should have done. Somebody here in the city.
I'm not saying that, but you can't put nobody else's jersey on them, though, man. You cannot disrespect us like that.
Okay,
of course, Philly fans are going to disrespect them then.
Ben Franklin, okay, yes, I give you that. Somebody comes out with a Ben Franklin jersey, or Ben Franklin wearing a Cowboys jersey. Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
You had to have had respect for Rocky initially in order for that to be a disrespect. I do not.
Well, you know what? It's because everybody in Philly understands that Rocky is a myth, a figment of you know, our imagination. Well, everybody else's imagination. We see Rocky as who he is, Sylvester Stallone.
It's more of a mentality. It's the underdog mentality.
Yes. But everybody else in the world thinks, you know, besides Philadelphia, thinks that he was real, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we get the, you know, the blunt of that, you know, just grouping us all together.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you still can't put a jersey on him.
Okay, now has this guy been identified? And wouldn't it be great if it was the same doctor that gave Westbrook the double bird a few years ago? You know, they moved his seats off the court because of that. And now he's sitting over the top of the tunnel and he dumped popcorn.
What if it was, man?
Oh my goodness. So great.
Right.
You know, if that was the case, bro, they would have to at least put those guys in a room together.
Oh, you're banned for life.
I know you're banned for life.
That's a lifetime ban.
You got to put those guys in a room together. You know what I'm saying? Let the best man win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever wins gets out alive. Right. But come on, man.
And then we had the spitting incident last night, which is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that poor woman who was sitting in front of this guy got it on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, you could see it.
In this time, like, honestly, there should be, I mean, there are health
That's assault.
That's what I'm saying.
That's assault.
Especially now with what's going on. Like, that guy needs to be able to prove that he's not carrying anything or sick with anything.
Right.
With a respiratory virus still.
Right, so, exactly.
Like, could you imagine if that guy, let's say he's asymptomatic or something, and he's
got COVID.
Right. That's what I mean.
He spits on somebody, and then now this guy gets, you know, now what if that woman?
I'm not saying, Barrett, he's doing it on purpose, not by any means, like as far as spreading COVID on purpose, but I'm saying, like, as far as just that in its own right. Now, I saw on Twitter, to Harry's point about the popcorn, that maybe they were just yelling and yelling. And sometimes if people see me, I'll get animated, and you may see a droplet of saliva hit the
right.
But it looks like that was also done on purpose, right?
It does. It does.
And now look, we have Peter here. Peter Kriz, if that happened in Philly, OMG, stop. Stop. Like, what do I have to do to erase that mentality from your mind? What aboutism? It's awful. It's the most counterproductive mentality you can have. Please, Peter, please.
Well, the Sixers, I'm reading Chris Haynes' tweet here saying that the Sixers say the fan who spilled the popcorn on Westbrook, quote, will have his season ticket membership revoked, effective immediately. In addition, he will be banned from all events at the Wells Fargo Center indefinitely.
And that's where I took the apology to Westbrook, where I substituted Westbrook for Barrett. So it says, we apologize to Russell Westbrook and the Washington Wizards for being subjected to this type of unacceptable and disrespectful behavior. There is no place for it in our sport or arena. Look, in all honesty, this for people that are still going to be complaining. Thank you, Peter. And I appreciate you. First and foremost, we love the fact that you're here interacting first and foremost. So I want you to understand that more so. And I wouldn't care if I didn't yell like that. These guys will tell you. So this is over. Like, this is over. We had one ass. We had one jerk face. We had one whatever you want to pop in. He was immediately outed.
Yep. Immediately outed and dealt with.
And dealt with. And the putt, like, this isn't even a week later. Guys, we're not even on the show a Tuesday after Memorial Day begging for the Sixers to make a statement. Like, they came right out and they banned his ass.
So good on them.
From the powers that be?
Yep.
Well, even the broadcasters, the local broadcasters.
Yeah, Zoom off.
They even said Zoom off. They said, hey, that fan should be kicked out immediately, and season tickets or whatever tickets he has would be taken from him. So I mean, it happened immediately. Immediately. So it wasn't as though they had to think about it or something like that. They did it exactly when it happened. They got him out of here, and everybody turned around and pointed at him.
Right.
Like, no, he did it right. Look at, he did it right there.
So you know what that means, Sixers fans? There's a pair of tickets, pretty good seats that are available.
What happened?
Right.
That's a great question. What happens to those tickets? Do they get thrown into a lottery?
I don't know.
Well,
that's a great seat.
Well, let me check my email. That's what Muhammad Malik said.
Yeah, check your emails, Barrett.
I gotta be honest. That's my favorite hashtag. And Muhammad and others are not going to let this die, which is even better.
Nor should they.
Yes.
This needs to be extended as long as the Brooks Koepka-DeChambeau quarrel continues, which took it to another level yesterday. And I know we're going to get to those tweets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff.
I love this here. Is there any truth to this theory by Ruin on the stream that Barrett doesn't check his email anymore because he once got scammed by a prince in Nigeria?
Yeah. I get those emails. Everybody gets those
question.
emails.
Yeah. Or you get the email saying, is this you?
Yeah.
A video say, is this you? Yeah, okay.
Yep. I always get the one that your Amazon, there's an issue with your Amazon account.
Oh, yeah, I get a call too.
Right.
Oh,
I get a call saying
yes. Calling, yeah.
Did you?
There was only one time that I ever fell for that because it was really real, man. I told you about this. I'm sure I told this.
No, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me.
I did it with the Mays and Eytan show.
Yeah.
So this happened years ago while I was still living in Conchi, and I got a phone call that my identity or my social, something was used on the other side of the border in Texas and Mexico to commit a crime and bring something back. And there's all this stuff on me about it. And I'm
Which is believable.
Well, exactly. Especially when I'm thinking like, okay, well, maybe I know some shady people that do that, especially because I was dating somebody at the time that was super shady as well. So I'm thinking, wait a second. So maybe
was this the one in Delaware?
Yeah. No, not Delaware. No, this is the girl that I was engaged to before. It was a short stint, but I think you met her too, Barrett.
I was one of the originals when you first met her.
That was the Atlantic City
deal,
right?
Yeah,
that was the AC deal.
The AC.
So anyway, long story long, as Brooks like
I was there to start it off.
You were down on AC, unbelievable. So here's the thing: long story long, right?
Right.
I find myself on the phone calling like back and forth. And then this is my introduction to these fake apps where it got back and forth where they're like, look, we need bank information. We need all this stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, something really doesn't seem right. I hang up. Then I got a call from the Conshohocken Police Department saying, this is Officer Johnson with badge number. We're following up on a call. So that's when I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. I don't want the Conshohocken Police Department in my apartment right now. Right? That's just for my own personal safety. I don't want anybody in my apartment that shouldn't be there smelling whatever's going on. And that's where I called my lawyer. And my lawyer's like, you're an idiot, for lack of a better term. Like, just it's a fake. It's a
now,
scam.
is this the lawyer that I know?
Yes. So he knew me. He had to get me out of a jam. And that's where he was like, don't worry. I understand. But look, that was the only time I ever fell for any of this stuff. And I laugh like you all laugh at the Nigerian prince and the other stuff. But the reality is for about 30 minutes, when I was caught up in that, it really felt believable. It really did feel believable. Like, I was going to have somebody, but then here's the thing. Nobody ever calls. All right. Just remember this. The IRS, the Social Security Department, the police, nobody ever calls and tells you, hey, you're in trouble. We need to come over and talk to you. They just come over or they serve you something. That's it. Like that was the big lesson.
They're knocking your door down.
Bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm really, noticing is that Harry, me and you have went down a lot of rabbit holes with him, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yep.
And it's always entertaining.
You never know, man. You never know. All right, we'll get some audio popped up in your coming back. We got to hit those tweets as well. We got a fake news segment with Ron Culver. Now, this is our last show before Tuesday. We'll be off Friday and Monday for an extended Memorial Day weekend. I don't know how the hell you guys manage that one.
Bro, this is going to be great, man. In fact, my pool is almost done. I'm almost done with my pool, man. So
yeah, notice we didn't get the invite to the pool, huh?
I'm definitely going to invite you. In fact, I'm going to invite you on the show. Yeah, you guys are welcome to come to my house and
why don't we do Tuesday's show at the pool?
Well, you know what? You can do Tuesday show at the pool, but still understand I have no kitchen still.
Right.
Right. Great. I'll stop for coffee.
Let's just wait until the house is done.
Fair enough. All right, we're back in 3. It's the middle across the board here. Reminder, I saw Penguin AZ reminding all you newbies here, you don't want to be a casual. You want to be a part of the community. Like, subscribe, share, everything else. All here.
Of course, Jeff.
That's it. We're back in 3.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor, Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Barrett's got the Omega colors on today.
What's that?
Come on, Omega.
It is.
Yeah, my mom said I was too dark on the stream, so I had to get another light. How's that, Mom?
Well, that shirt brightens everything up too.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if the Madison Square Garden will deal with that fan.
Should.
Yeah, I just saw it, man. That's crazy. That is crazy.
That poor woman.
Yeah, she's sitting there. She got a tank top on. So
I know.
That's like they said it's like assault, man.
Yeah, it should be. Spitting on somebody you can get hit with that. Wow, that's my fault. You can get hit with a case. You catch it.
Yeah, it could be manslaughter. Because what if he has COVID and she dies? Well, that could be manslaughter.
That's all right. Yes, I guess technically.
Yeah,
but we definitely need somebody. You're talking about just simple assault. I think is let's start there, right?
Right.
Look, I'm
play action right though. Phlegm can stain a shirt. So exactly. Beyond charging somebody with simple assault, I think the judge can also hit that person with all of the dry cleaning.
Dry cleaning. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just replacing everything altogether.
Yeah.
But why do something like that, man? Why? What is?
I don't know. I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's still a game, man. You know what I mean? And for somebody to spit on somebody because it's a rival, come on now.
It's terrible. Like, and look, remove that person. This is not society, right? This is not society where, unfortunately, people are put together and the social and legal contracts that we're a part of are very gray. This is an organization. This is an arena. This is a private entity. If Twitter can ban and mute and do all that, so can the Garden. Kick people out. Like, right. That's as best of a deterrent as you can. Here's the thing. I don't even know who the hell the guy is that threw the popcorn on Russell Westbrook. And I don't necessarily know if I will unless some irresponsible radio host brings him on for 20 minutes to yell and berate at him. But, think about it, Barrett. This guy is gone. He hasn't been publicized all over. His face isn't all over the place. If I'm going to be the next jerk, I'm looking and thinking, well, I won't even get publicity if I do this. I'm just going to get my ass banned. Maybe that's a good thing if they ban people like this.
Bro, I had one incident like that, and I was in college. We're playing in Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. And in Okie State, the fans are right there.
Right on the field.
Yeah, right on the field. Yeah. So I'm sitting there in my I'm sitting on the bench. I just come in from come off a drill, and we are smashing them, bro. Smashing them. And I'm sitting down, and this lady smacks the top of my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo. So I turn around like, yo.
Yeah.
And her husband jumps, what? What are you gonna do? I said, bruh, reach down him again, and I promise you're gonna see. And what does he do? He turns around and he tries to spit on me. I dodged the spit and I grab him, flung him over the top and slammed him on the ground. Before I could really get on him, the police, not the police, but the security guard, whatever they are on the sideline.
Yeah, the guys in the yellow jackets.
Yeah, and they grabbed him and escorted him out. And they turned around and got the lady too.
Good.
And grabbed her and escorted her.
Is there video of this? I would love to see this.
Bro, you gotta understand, this is back in 1992 or something.
Well, there was video back then.
I've seen a lot of stuff in video. In fact, you're right, man, because I've seen some stuff on video, man.
Black and white, but it's a video.
Right. Video did exist before cell phone.
Bro, right? I remember I first got to Kansas State, and it was back when Oklahoma, 2 years before Oklahoma, Anthony Stafford, they had Jamel Holloway, they had everybody, Brian Bosworth, Keith Jackson. So we're playing them, right? They're beating us so bad. and we're playing them at home. They're in Manhattan. They were being so bad that by halftime, they rolled a camera to the sidelines. They had on mink jackets with diamond earrings in their ear on the sideline. They had beat us so bad that they would just sit on the sideline with their mink coats on there. They went in and took a shower before halftime and came back out and on the sidelines with mink coats on and everything.
Not Howard Eskin.
No. That's disrespectful, man.
It was crazy, man. Crazy. In fact, I looked at one of them had a kid out there. I guess one of them had a kid or something. A kid was on the sideline. He was holding a kid, man.
Wow.
I'm like, what is going on here?
That's insane, man.
Oh, they were, man, but at the time, you understand, that was the #1 team in the country.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the #1 team in the country. Can you imagine Brian Bosworth?
Yeah, Switzer never broke any rules to get those guys.
No, zero.
Not
that was
you know,
all on the level, Har.
How does all three guys have mink jackets?
Right. Yeah, where'd they get that? Right.
Dude, it was one play, right? And it was Jamel Holloway and they were running. They ran a play action like where the running the what do you call it, zone option, and all of a sudden he drops back and he puts the ball behind his arm, and our starting middle linebacker ran up to Jamel Holloway and did like this, looked at him, and turned around, and he told me the story later on. He could hear the fans saying, "He's got the ball." So then when he turned around again to look at him, he throws like a 30-yard bomb to keep Jackson in the end zone. He was sitting there all alone in the end zone. But he said he could hear the fans saying, "He's got the ball."
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
That was how bad it was, man. That team was good, though. I mean, unbelievably good.
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
I saw some of the over-unders for win totals in college football.
Yeah, those
came
are
out
out too.
yesterday.
All right, we're back in a couple here. We got some more going on. We'll hit that too beyond the Bryson beef. Yeah, what do you see? Akron?
Well, I immediately went down to Temple and saw the numbers 2.5.
Wow.
What?
Right.
Well, they lost their starting running back.
2.5.
Yeah, but I mean they got 5 running backs. I mean, it's like they got a quarterback from Georgia coming in who's going to start for them. You know, they got I don't understand that. 2.5.
That's a lot. Right?
That's a lot of disrespect.
Oh, no question.
You don't think they're going to win 3 games?
Man, that's tough.
I mean, they won 1 last year, and they were decimated by COVID.
Right.
They should have probably not even played half of those games.
That's fair. It's sitting at 2.5 or 3.5?
2.5. I mean, Connecticut is at 2.5.
Yeah. That's a really low number. Not for Connecticut, but
I think that's where my nephew's going to go.
It's actually not. It's not 2.5 juiced on either side for either team.
It doesn't say.
Who they have at #1 in the country?
Well, I mean, this is in alphabetical order, so.
Oh, okay.
Like they have Houston 8, over under of 8. Kansas State 5.5. Kansas 1. Kansas Jayhawks over under is 1.
Yeah,
they might not win a game.
Put it out. That team is an atrocity.
What's his name? Gus Miles or something like that? Or
Les Miles. He's out there now.
Yeah, so they don't even have a big name coach now, so that they can't recruit anybody now.
I forget.
Miles
did they get the guy from Buffalo to go there? The guy that has done a great job at Buffalo, because I think I don't even know if they named a guy, because they were looking at the guy at Army too, who's done a fantastic job. Monken.
Mm-hmm.
Not Monk. Malik Monk.
No.
Dontrell Willis is trending.
Wow.
Have you noticed the new thing for Twitter, right? Is sometimes they don't have enough tweets at all to justify a trend.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even put the number of tweets below it.
Right.
So, for example, Dontrell Willis is just trending right now. So if you didn't know any better, you would think, oh, well, Dontrell Willis is trending. So let me click on that, and then let me look and respond to one of these tweets that's not really trending.
Right.
And what does that do? It helps grow the trend.
Yeah, right. Ohio State and Oklahoma 11.
Wow.
Oregon 9. Penn State 9. So Rutgers 4.
These are low numbers. No?
I mean, Ohio State and Oklahoma are 11. That's
Well, I meant the earlier one. Sorry, not the.
This is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Couple of low numbers you threw out there. I guess 11.5 for the two obvious ones, but we were just going over this really quick in the break there with the college football over and unders that came out here.
Yeah. I mean, Stanford, 3.5. That's really low, isn't it?
They lose the quarterback. Who's their new quarterback?
I don't know, but I mean, they seem to always have somebody.
No.
USC has 9. No.
You know,
kind of interesting.
I'll say this, just going back to this really quick, and this is not to put anything in a hierarchy or not, but where are the Knicks right now? Or at least Madison Square Garden?
Well, they're going back to play in Atlanta. Can they keep that same?
No, but about the fan, you mean, right?
Yes. Yeah, right. And last night was great. I think we saw a crazy comeback. I mistakenly cashed out of a Knicks money line bet in the second quarter for a hit where I should have just rode it out anyway. But yes, you're right. And before we hit that, Barrett, real quick, I'm just saying as far as the actual response and as rapid as a response as we saw from both the Philadelphia 76ers and the Wells Fargo Center, who, mind you, are not the same entity for people who may not know that, both in and outside the Delaware Valley. Where are the Knicks right now? Isn't that kind of what we're looking like? The Sixers did exactly what we want from the people who are in charge of dealing with crap like that. Why is this still an issue with the Knicks? And maybe it isn't. I'm looking. I'm seeing if there's a statement. I don't see anything like that. Wouldn't you anticipate something like that? This dude was on camera with the act, which was way clearer than what we saw with the popcorn incident. That's all.
Well, yeah, Swift. But, the player wasn't involved with it, though. So, at that point, he didn't really know what was going on. We see just by the woman's response
to
looking at her shoulder that, the guy had spit. And then the way he's hurry up and sat down after that. But, at this point, man, you're looking at I think it's more so because it's Philadelphia and how we've been judged. That's why they acted so swiftly. I mean, you got to look at, they got a lot of problems up there anyways. Even how they treated Oakley, Spike Lee. So they do things on their own time, man. They're not really worried about handling it the way we handle it down here in Philly.
Well, I mean, don't you think though that the optics of it?
They don't care about the optics of it.
You don't think
see the way they treated Oakley?
Madison Square Garden does.
Well,
right?
You see the way they treated Oakley though.
Well, that's what I'm saying though is that's a Knicks thing, right? Yeah. What's happening there, James Dolan with the Knicks as far as the history with Charles Oakley, but you don't
Spike Lee too.
Well, Spike Lee doesn't get any negative treatment there. Spike Lee.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he has before.
One time? Spike Lee can do whatever the hell he wants in that arena. Are you kidding me?
Well, now that he was, they really didn't want to let him go down to his seat. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Look it up.
I grew up there before I lived here.
Right. But there was an incident where he
whatever he wanted to.
Well, there was an incident where he got escorted back out of the building. I guess he tried to go. Probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
He had a boycott. He boycotted
because they were so bad and because of all these things.
No, it's because he came in through an interest that the players were only the players were supposed to go to. He'd been going through there for years.
Right.
And then they stopped him from doing it.
Right. So it's
and they escorted him back out.
Trouble. That's what it was. It's a celebrity who wasn't allowed celebrity access.
Right.
Spike Lee could walk in. I'm saying it's different than Oakley. Oakley,
but not that time, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that time.
Yeah, for a 2 or 3 year period because he was going after James Dolan.
But we're still talking about. We're talking about the Philadelphia fans. It was 40 years ago that they booed Santa Claus, threw snowballs at him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is years and years ago, and they're still bringing it up. We're talking about the optics of it. These are optics that were set in stone a long time ago. They still bring up. They still bring those up.
You don't have a list of incidents with fans when it comes to other things happening. Like, how often did Bruce Springsteen or Jay-Z or the Rolling Stones deal with stuff like that at MSG, or boxing matches? And even to the extent of Knicks games, and I'm not putting Knicks fans on a pedestal by any means, so if anybody's jumping to that conclusion, let me stop you right now. My point of it is that you're right. There isn't this long list of optics from the fans. It's James Dolan battling, unfortunately and unfairly, with Charles Oakley, and then Spike Lee was pretty much, that in a different category. But I don't know, like, from a fan standpoint, they don't really have a long list of this. Like, Boston has no choice. If something like this happens, they have to act as swiftly as possible. So maybe you're right. Maybe New York doesn't feel like they don't have to act as swiftly simply because they don't have a long list of fans doing this at the Garden, specifically at Knicks games. But that in its own right, especially now, I guess I bring it up because everything is on Twitter and populated via video. I would think that the Knicks would do at least release a statement at some point.
Well, yeah, and the interesting situation with how it was handled in Philadelphia is the team doesn't own the arena.
Right.
The team said you're out of your seats for good. But then also the company which is NBC, I guess, Comcast, that owns that arena, they also said, hey, and by the way, you're not allowed in this building ever again.
Right. Right.
With the Knicks, it's all owned by one person, right?
Yep.
Dolan owns MSG, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the Knicks.
But that's what I'm saying, is that Dolan's acts of pettiness and childish behavior comes with 1.5 guys. And Spike is a half because he's been such a long favorite there, loved favorite there. This was not like the deep-seated, rooted hatred that Dolan unfortunately has for Oakley, because Oakley never gave him a cent of respect. I think the whole thing with Spike and Dolan is Dolan flexing against the super fan, knowing that he has a very small piece of leverage, like keep him out of the celebrity entry, like players' entrance. So that's my whole point of all this, guys, is that the whole Knicks stuff is happening. It would be like if it happened with Doc, or like if Brian Westbrook wasn't allowed back, or if somebody escorted,
Jason Martinez.
Yes.
Who goes in through the player's entrance, as is pointed out by Colin Berger on the stream. He's exactly right.
Yeah, that needs to stop. I mean, seriously.
I called him out on our radio show one day about that.
And rightfully so, because if I'm going to laugh at the whole notion of this Spike and Dolan beef because of what's going on with the celebrity entrance, then I need to equally hold Jason Martinez for taking advantage of something that he really should not be.
Who does he think he is? The emergency goaltender?
He is no Spike Lee. Let me tell you that.
He actually thinks of himself like that. He thinks of himself like that.
Yeah.
So you say there's a chance.
I might get if 5 goaltenders get hurt, they're going to be calling on me, Har.
What do you think, Har?
I better have the gear in the car. The hockey bag.
I better go take a tinkle real fast.
Right, yeah. Oh, I got to pee before I put on the pillows.
It's all bagged up. Yeah, it's not a good sign, isn't it?
Oh, he would definitely, if he was in that game, he would definitely just be peeing right down his leg on the ice.
What?
That'd be the funniest thing in my life, man. That would make my day.
Ridiculous visual is that? What?
He'd be reaching back, grabbing that water bottle, and it'd be coming right out.
Man, I tell you.
Oh my goodness!
I did not know that was going today.
I never knew about that until he told us that one day, man. I never knew about that.
His bladder's the size of a walnut.
I want to change the subject and move on to something, but I also don't want to deprive Barrett of this amazing joy that he seems to carry on, man. Keep going, Harry. Keep pushing.
Can you see that though?
Yeah.
You see, it's about
Barrett's visualizing this, and he's getting enjoyment out of this.
It's amazing.
His little 5-foot self in between the pipes.
You can't help himself.
Skating back and forth, hitting the post like Hextall with the twig.
He can barely reach over the net and get his water. If it goes in the middle, he can't get it.
Oh
hey,
my
Ghost,
God,
hey, Ghost, come get this water for me.
Hey, Ghost. Ghost has to go behind the net. Oh, this is too good. This is too good.
It's amazing.
I almost feel bad that we're doing this behind his back. I'd rather do it in front of him.
Well, what we'll do is we'll get him back on and we'll just play on this clip.
Oh my goodness.
What are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness.
We'll play him this whole clip and ask him, what are your thoughts? Your thoughts. Go ahead.
Oh, that would be the funniest thing ever, man. That would
good.
that make my day, man. That make my year. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Woo. And
now
the
Jeff Bruder says to Barrett, short shaming must stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too
man,
good.
I'm telling you.
He's got a Diet Coke in the back of the thing. He's spitting in, he's got chew out there.
Yeah, he's got dip in. Yeah,
no. Absolutely.
And the inside of his mask is all like stained.
It's wild, isn't it though? It's wild, man. I'll tell you.
Oh God.
I gotta hit you with that King of Queens where he's talking about the kid's toothbrush and toothpaste. He's like, because Deacon has these two little kids, right? So he's trying to distract his wife, Carrie, and said, I went over to Deacon's house and, they got this new toothpaste, this wild berry toothpaste. You know what it is? It's wild. I got to hit you with that. Yeah. That's all.
Oh, man. I got the feeling that Eytan's putting together a parlay right now.
No. I'm just listening. I didn't want to jump. I honestly did not want to jump in and ruin that moment of joy.
Bro, you can't imagine that, though?
Yeah, I can totally see it.
Right?
Barrett and I are seeing the same thing right now.
Right.
Yeah, who am I to jump in?
I knew you say he took the sticks and he's hitting it.
Yeah. Look, Eric Rogers, I'm burned out. No. Look, I know moments. I know that there is a misconception out there that everything has to be about me, but I'm just sitting back and letting that moment live. There was a promo in there.
Yeah, totally.
Pop in there.
I hope Ron Culver was listening.
There was a lot in there, man. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Hey, Bruder, man.
Was howling.
Yeah, man. I mean, Bruder, you got to understand. I'm not really short shaming, but you have to understand this, man. You got to look at him, man.
Yes, you are short shaming.
It's more so. No, it's more so. It's more so. I see him with the Diet Coke. He's spitting the Diet Coke in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's hitting the thing. He's hey. I can hear him now. Wait till I tell Harry this. Wait till I tell Harry. Wait till I tell Harry. Hey, Harry. It was great. Then they have a hat trick in about 2 seconds, right?
Yeah. He's saying hello to all the Flyers as they skate by him.
Yep.
What do you say, G? What's going on, G?
What's going on? What's going on, Ghost? What's going on? He's doing that same voice,
right,
that he's doing to everybody. What's going on, Proby? Yeah, that's right. Hey, Proby, what's going on, man?
Oh man. That would have been the greatest. The greatest.
You got it all out of your system, or?
Yeah, I'm good now. We can move. We can move on. Man.
That was classic.
Wow.
We got a full segment.
I got
my boy Jason.
I got a shot here. Now I almost don't want to bring his name up because I've sent him the invite 3 separate times over the last week, and I wasn't prepared to out him, but he decided to send me a text during showtime. So now I kind of feel like, well, if you can send me a text during showtime, you can sure as hell pop up and talk about it for a couple of minutes. But apparently our buddy Tony on Twitter it pops up on Twitter where somebody who likes something that you follow that likes something you'll see, even though you don't follow the account, right? Like, hey, so in this case, Tony Bruno liked a picture from at Mountain Beach 7, which the picture is this beautiful young woman who happens to be topless, and she's just there in the still shot topless. So Jake Asman, who has blown us off 3 separate times,
repeatedly,
sends me the text about Tony, the timeline this morning. So
I was hoping this was coming back to Asman. That's where I thought you were going to end up.
Yes, he's blown us off multiple times, and for who? For what? To go to what? Chipotle a little earlier than normal? I've had it.
And that's exactly what happened too. We just so happened to be right when he goes to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So he just blew us off.
Yeah, but he's done for the day.
Yeah, right. He's probably very exhausted because he was probably going crazy about Derrick Rose and the Knicks this morning.
Right. Oh, he's in hog heaven right now.
I wonder what he has to say about the New York fan spitting or attempting to spit on Trae Young.
Yeah, that would be interesting since he does claim the Knicks. He's not a bridge and tunnel guy.
Right.
So
well, you know what?
I claim the Knicks. I'll send him the invite. Let's see what happens. We'll challenge him on this and see what happens. Sorry, Barrett. Do me a favor. Hold on real quick. We're going to wrap the hour coming up next here on the middle. Go ahead.
And I'm tending not to like Trae Young now, man. I don't like his attitude, bro.
No.
Uh-oh.
What about him?
A little too cocky, man.
Yeah.
Way too cocky.
He's got swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't disagree with you at all. There's not really anybody you need to be humble against with the Knicks, right? It's not like there's a champion on the other side and he's
right.
So I get what you're saying. I just don't. I think outside of Trae Young, and it's no knock on Clint Capella by any means, but it's just real. Like they're not really an exciting team for me.
No,
not at all.
Lou, who can pop in, but that's I don't know.
They don't bring much to the table as far as a powerhouse type of team. So
right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
There's not a lot of pop with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's not a lot of
I like watching them play, but you just don't like the.
But it's like they're building up they're building up a momentum for the New York Knicks.
I really want the Knicks to win that series because I want Sixers Knicks. I think that would be great stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're with me there on that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because
I think they would. I think that the Sixers will blow out
Atlanta.
I mean, it wouldn't even be close. There should be 4 and out. Period.
The problem that teams that are like big man heavy have, and Randall's not going to be big man like up front heavy, but like big man heavy like Capella is that what happens when, think of it like any match, right? Where you have multiple tiers of matches. What happens when your number 1 or number 2 loses? You got to really rely on your 3rd, your 4th guy. Like you don't want to rely on the 5th guy when it's match play and you've got your top 5 dudes ranked and your 5th guy is somebody who had to come in as an alternate, right? Like you don't want your 5th scorer out, Herter, right? You don't want those dudes out there. Right. So Embiid's going to eat Capella up.
Yeah, it would be great, bro. The only thing is, it'd be one of those games where Lou Williams comes in and sinks a game against the 76ers.
Yeah.
He would come in and just totally dominate the game, drop like 30, and, they'll win one game, like the second game.
Right. Now, when is game 3 for the Sixers? Is it
Saturday, right?
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Why is that?
They want to stretch because people will freaking watch it.
Yeah.
And it's awful. And look, I criticize this league as much as I love it, but this is where it's like, dude, you could get away with jamming up the first round. We don't need this big of a stretch. Especially, and here's why, because this season and last year to a lesser extent was all about resting people to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have it both ways. You want us to sit through regular seasons where we watch load manage games, then jam these games together in the playoffs, at least in the first round. Uh-oh.
You're listening to The Middle on the Sports Map Radio.
There he is.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studio. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I know. It is. And we also have, as I heard the beep, the pop coming in here. Now, we only have a minute before we'll break to the top of the hour. So the good news is that Jake can hear you and Barrett, Harry.
Oh, yeah?
And the stream, because I already see Bruder impatiently asking, where the hell is Asman? Asman is here. He's going to be here. I can see him nodding his head in agreement. He's just chilling in the green room. That's all right.
They've been asking for the Chipotle guy for days.
For days.
Yeah.
For days. I just want to know, man, since, they've already caught the tiger.
Yeah.
He probably went and got his Chipotle already. And now his Knicks are tied right now. We'll see. We'll see what he has to say.
By the way, Muhammad Malik, appreciate that. Beats were provided, original stuff by Dub Z. He's pretty big, pretty famous guy. He's worked with some big stuff up in New York. So he hooked us up with that. And we're back with Jake next. Oh, look who it is.
Hey. Oh, jeez.
How we doing? It is.
Oh, that connection's a little little soft.
It's not
not really in HD. I'm not looking at you in 4K.
It's a little baby stoolish, if you will. Soft.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Well,
Jake, we've been waiting on you, bro. We've been waiting on you.
You got promos running about Chipotle. We got this new story that you DM Harry and I on top of that. And then I get a text from you this morning about our old pal Tony horning out on Twitter.
So someone sent me that. I don't want to put him on
Why not? We just put you and Tony on blast. You might as well put the other person on blast as well at this point, right?
He sent it to me, and I don't know if I could reveal who put it out there, but let's just say, Tony Bruno, when you like tweets of naked women on Twitter, a lot of people could see you're doing such a thing.
Now, she was topless, not naked. And let me ask you this.
Partially nude.
Yeah, partially nude, I think. Look, there are places where that's specifically mentioned as far as strip clubs are concerned. So that's a whole different genre of club right there. I think we need to be specific in how we're referencing this young woman. What's wrong with that?
I have no issue with it. I'm just saying, I don't know, if your employer might like that, but in Tony's case, I don't know if he's working right now. So I don't know if it really matters. I think he can do whatever he wants. So I support it. I just wanted to put it out there into the universe that I thought it was funny that here's someone scrolling through their Twitter and they're wondering why they're seeing a pair of breasts pop up on the timeline. It's because, radio legend Tony Bruno is having some fun on the
I see it. I see it.
It's good. It's a good looking woman. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear you.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind a little like either. I wouldn't mind a like either.
Yeah, I mean, the original tweet came from @MountainBeach7, who I have no idea who that is.
Not really.
But Tony liked it. Yeah. See, he likes and tweets so much. You have to scroll for days to find this stuff on his timeline. You talk about tweeting.
Oh, it's just nonstop, inundated.
It's unbelievable.
Bro, do you guys see what they sent to us, man? Leaked the pic of Eytan and Barrett's pool last summer.
I saw that.
He's topless too.
Yeah, she's topless. Yes.
Yeah.
Eytan, you're topless, bro. You see it, Jake? Woo!
I need to see this. Let me take a look.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Does anybody know who this woman is in this picture?
No, but I'd rather know who she is than the asshole who threw popcorn.
I agree.
Like, give me that info as opposed to the popcorn.
Can somebody retweet it so I can see it?
Yeah, I don't know what you have to direct us to what you're seeing. You can't just expect us to be watching exactly what you
Tony Bruno's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I laughed. I just saw it. That's great.
This is awesome. You see it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw it as soon as it came out.
Oh, yeah, I always saw it. He got me thinking about him the whole time.
He is working. He's doing something on this No Filter network, which is owned by that baseball player, former baseball player, Burnsy. Played for the Diamondbacks.
Is it Eric Burns?
Not Corbin Burns.
Yeah, Eric Burns. He was on MLB Network, too, for a while. I think he might still be.
Is that right?
Yeah. He does a show every, maybe once or twice a week.
Okay. Makes sense.
Does it with Rick Bucher, I think.
The Buke?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Buke does that in addition to, what is he? He's on FS1 doing NBA talk for them.
He is? Okay. I'll take your word for it.
It's part of the problem with FS1. You don't know it there.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What's this latest beef that you have here with Chipotle, man?
So there's a payment discrepancy. That is my latest beef. So there's a Chipotle right by my apartment, less than a mile away. And it's been open for about a year. The other Chipotle I used to go to is about a mile and a half, 2 miles away from my apartment. They're both really close, right? You would think the price of a burrito bowl with steak and guacamole, just using that as an example, would be the same. But for whatever reason, the one that's closer to my apartment is 32 cents more than the one that's slightly further away from my apartment. So I just don't understand how there could be a payment discrepancy with the exact same items ordered.
We're talking 32 cents.
Yes. That's what he's talking about.
This keeps you up at night?
It does. I want answers. I want accountability. You know, that
you want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. That's what it is.
Right.
Now, did you look at the cost and see, you know, if it was different? Because somebody may have made a mistake.
So let me pull up the receipts. They're on my kitchen table.
Oh my God. You keeps receipts from Chipotle. What do you do? Turn this in at tax time?
Oh my goodness. You can't write that stuff off now.
You can't write off burrito bowls.
No.
I don't think you can. No.
Here we go. $11.75 from this location on Richmond Avenue here in Houston. The steak bowl, $8.60. The guacamole, $2.25.
The steak bowl. I think Kansas State played in that one.
Yeah. You're right. That's a rivalry game.
Okay. Now the one that's slightly closer to my apartment. Mind you, once again, both locations within 2 miles of one another. Steak bowl, $8.80. Guacamole, $2.35. Somebody explain why there's a price discrepancy with the Chipotle locations.
You know what's probably messed up? It's probably the same owner too. The same owner.
Franchisee.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Someone's like, "Oh, well, the rent is greater at one location compared to the other." I'm like, I don't know if it works that way. Like, doesn't Chipotle have like set prices for their items?
See, he's really dove into that.
Wow.
You really have, haven't you?
Yeah, and I just completely lost track of time there.
Wow.
Lost in the story of Jake Asman mining over. Now, what do you do with all of this? All right, you have the tax receipts, you have the story. Now, what do you do? Do you confront? Or is this just something you're going to bring up to kill that final segment in the final hour of your show?
This is content, I believe, Eytan. I think you
Well,
figured it out. I got to fill 4 hours.
Come on, Mikey. I got to fill 4 hours. I mean, it's just like the guy calling up Russo when he was doing 5 hours solo, an hour 5, bitching about him talking about tennis, and you coming back and saying, come on, Stevie, I got to fill 5 hours. Now, well, what the hell? You don't need to. You got 2 hours to fill, and I've heard you. You can fill it just talking.
I'm speaking for the everyday man, the everyday man or woman, you know, the average Joe. You know, just because it's only 32 cents, whatever it might be, doesn't mean that there's not an injustice that's going on here, guys. So I'm speaking out and providing a voice for the voiceless.
Maybe the avocado is fresher at the place where it's 32 cents.
And
no, they actually make it every day, though. They make it every day, don't they? They make it fresh every day. Yes.
Is that right? Fresh?
Fresh every day.
Let me just say this, and I think I'm the only one who could probably say this without any repercussion or backlash from anyone outside of this program. You realize that you are only furthering one of the worst stereotypes about our people, correct?
Yes. Yeah, thank you for saying
this.
See,
right?
you could bring that up, Eytan. I'm glad you did because I was thinking the exact same thing.
Everybody was thinking
right.
it. Everybody was thinking it.
Right.
I know. All right, I'll stop there. Look, I was just saying.
I needed to convert for the joke.
Right.
If I don't speak out, who will? That's how I look at it. I'm taking the challenge. I'm putting it on my shoulders, and I'm once again speaking out for the voiceless against an injustice that should not be happening.
Hopefully, you can do the same for an actual injustice, because something like that did happen in your own backyard, and we don't mean Houston. Coming up next. Oh, look at that little post action.
Wow, that was good.
Now, let's just catch everybody up here. If you're new, and welcoming you in, of course, is first and foremost our priority, but a reminder to like, to share, to subscribe to the JAKIB Media YouTube page. You want to smash the notification bell of all things so you don't miss shows as they go live, and you're not sitting there responding to stuff that happened 4 or 5 hours ago on the replay. We love the replay factor, don't get me wrong, and that's why it's there for you to watch at your own leisure, but you also want to be here when things are live. So we hit a lot on the Sixers, the domination in the first hour on Washington, especially from the elements of just Embiid all around, Ben Simmons as well. And then we got into the popcorn issue here. And of course, what comes up with the popcorn issue in Philadelphia is the spitting issue up in New York with Trae Young. Your Knicks. and your Knicks fans spitting all over the place. What does that say? Make what great again?
Make Knicks great again.
What about keeping your saliva in your mouth? Is that possible? Can those two things be mutually inclusive where the Knicks can be great again and fans keep saliva in their mouth?
Look, the thing is, every fan base has their groupings of Neanderthal fans. I don't need to tell you guys in Philly about how the Philadelphia sports fans.
Here we go.
See, that's how it started right there.
No, I'm defending the Philly sports fan as I did on the radio this morning because every fan base has a bunch of idiots that do dumb things. The guy that spit near Trae Young, he should never be allowed at Madison Square Garden ever again. Now, that being said, the booing and the chanting and all the the back and forth that you get with a game, that's what makes sports great, and you love that from a fan aspect. But unfortunately, a couple of Neanderthals in every fan base ruin it a lot of times. And I think Westbrook should have been allowed to go into the stands and clock that guy in the face to dump the popcorn on him.
Bro, I love you for that. Thank you. Thank you. If you have the gonad to go and spit on somebody, then you should be able to, go to a room and hash those things out. I mean, you may be a ninja or something. Yeah. You may know karate. You may be able to whoop, his ass. But at the end of the day, if you have the gonads enough to spit on me, you should be able to suffer the consequences and repercussions of your actions.
Yeah,
that's
and
all
the
I'm
spitting
saying.
Incident is way more heinous than allowing popcorn, dumping some popcorn on somebody's head.
Yes.
Thankfully, he missed. It looked like he missed.
Total disrespect. That's
the problem
utterly
was
total
that it's the
disrespect.
act, right? Yeah. And when you start drawing that line, and I'm with you, I'm not going to differentiate the two, but I'm just saying as far as the act is concerned, because then you have somebody thinking well, I can throw popcorn, but I can't throw a razor blade. And it's well,
batteries. You can't throw batteries.
Because
a lot of popcorn too. I mean, that looked like it was a full bucket of popcorn too. It wasn't like that was the end there.
I got to be honest, the popcorn there is not that good. Arena popcorn is terrible. It's awful. That's another. That's how you know, Harry, he wasn't there to eat the popcorn.
No, it's expensive too.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
And we did track down Jake Asman, who you can hear, of course, from 9 to 11 a.m. before The Middle here on Sports Map Radio, Monday through Thursday, and then he's back again on the weekend. So Saturdays. Let's look at what you anticipate, because here's the thing, Jake, and not to completely throw you on the spotlight here, although we kind of did that with everything else earlier. The Sixers and the Wells Fargo Center, which aren't even the same entity, acted swiftly. They responded with very little time from what happened last night to what happened this morning, which is a full-on ban for this individual. We haven't really seen anything from the Knicks or from MSG so far regarding that. Do you think that they're just investigating, or why wouldn't there be at least a statement acknowledging what happened and that it's not there? And you're right, one shouldn't ruin the batch, although sometimes it does, et cetera, but at least come back with something, right?
I think they will. I haven't checked to see if they put anything out. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to find the fan who did it. I mean, the guy's sitting
second row.
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of 50 Cent. And if you look at where the spit came from, it ended up landing on 50 Cent's woman that he was with.
Right.
I don't know if it's significant other, whoever, but I mean, she reacted to the spit going on her. It didn't even hit Trae Young.
Right.
But regardless, that fan should be banned for life. I mean, there's no place for something like that.
But the intent was Trae Young.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was where the intent was.
Correct.
Poor woman got its collateral, damage.
What if there was a second
spitter?
There might have been.
Right.
Yep.
There might have
we're totally looking past, evidently you being that close in a playoff game at the Garden, you must have some juice. So maybe he has more juice than we're giving him credit for. And that's why he's not being outed like that. Maybe they're keeping it between them.
Yeah. Maybe the poor man's Spike, and maybe
right.
the poor man's Spike Lee in his section.
Man, mafia ties.
Out him out.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but hold on a second. Again, doesn't that go to show you, the Sixers fan was outed instantly. You saw fans all around him say, "That's the guy right there. That's the guy. He did it." Yep, Harry's right. People were pointing up. like Babe Ruth calling a home run shot. I mean, it was ridiculous. Where is that right now? Aren't you a little disappointed that you're not seeing more of that from the MSG crowd?
Yeah, and honestly, I think the Westbrook incident, being that it's, involving Russell Westbrook, star player, the way he reacted, the fact that the popcorn clearly did hit him, the spit did not actually hit Trae Young, I think it's overshadowing the Trae Young thing. I think the Westbrook stuff is taking a lot of the attention away from what happened at the Garden. Plus, the Knicks won the game last night. People are focused on the actual game. First playoff win in 8 years. That storyline is taking a back seat to the Westbrook incident, unfortunately.
Well, at the end of the day, man, it's a travesty. But the mere fact, that he's that close, tried to spit, and they didn't say anything, really at all. It almost went under the radar, even in the broadcast.
Well, yeah, and those fans are wearing masks there. That guy had to take the mask down to do the spitting, right?
That's a good call.
So is that 50 cents? 50 cents sitting up there?
Oh yeah.
That's
right
it.
there, yeah.
He didn't even react to it. His woman just got disrespected, and he's just sitting there.
I don't think he realized that his woman got hit right away.
Right.
And if he got hit with spit, you could argue, the man's been shot multiple times and he's come off of that. So he probably didn't even notice the spit. It doesn't feel like a searing hot bullet, I imagine, right? So 50's been through hell and back, bro.
There has to be juice, man. Dude must have some juice, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He must have some, some pull in order for him to, not be outed like that. Because you look at every, media outlet, they've shown the guy in Philly, but they haven't really shown him. So maybe he has a little more. He
wasn't outed like others did here.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Is there any other angles of the incident other than the one that has been making the rounds on
Twitter? Of course there
is. I haven't seen it.
But have you seen that though, Barrett?
No, but hold on. I've been in a truck before. I understand what it is to produce, big time games. I was, on ESPN in that truck for 5 years. There are always two cameras on the star. He's the star of that game. Mm-hmm. So there are at least 2 or 3 cameras on him at all times. You know what I'm saying? He gets his own camera. Put it like that. He gets his own camera, plus there are other cameras that were looking for him. And I think, wasn't there a free throw or something going on, or something like, why he was
playing? Yeah.
Yeah, inbounds play or something. Yeah. So, at that point, you got to say that, there was more than one camera on him. There's no way it wasn't.
Well, yeah, the thing is do we have – that was, taken from Twitter on television. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the fan was there who took the video. So there's at least one camera that caught it. Now it's just a matter of trying to find the other angle. But then again, even if you look in that video, and again, remember, this is a clipped video, as Barrett can tell you and anybody else, right? What you see on your monitor isn't necessarily as wide or as long, if you will, as what goes out on television. There's a little bit of a clip, especially if you have, if you're not in HD or whatever it may be on your television, you may have a different view on it.
Maybe standard, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, where the box is significantly cropped.
Right.
So, yes, if there's at least one on him on that view, it stands to reason that they would identify him. It just seems like, I don't know. And maybe, the more and more I think about it, maybe there is something to it where the guy is like, maybe does have a lot of money, a lot of juice or something.
He's a made man.
And is telling James Dolan, give me a week or so. Let me get out of town here. Is this going to be like the end of that god-awful Nicole Kidman show where we're going to have some helicopter scene chase down this fan who is trying to cross the Hudson River 50 minutes north of downtown Manhattan, and he's seen leaving the Garden from atop. We're live here on WPIX. What the hell would it be?
It was. Are you saying it was Hugh Grant?
Yes, I think it was Hugh Grant.
I think he's a made man. That if you look at him now, he's got to go and he's got to talk to the bosses first and see what the bosses go. They're going to hand out the punishment first before they let anybody else hand out the punishment. That's what's going on.
All right. Now, Asman, were you in a beef yesterday? I saw you defending Madison Square Garden on Twitter.
With
various people, including one Josh Innes. You were going back and forth.
Yes,
he was the only one that I had to defend Madison Square Garden to. He had the audacity, guys, to say that MSG is just like every other basketball arena is boring and lacks whatever character. I forget what word he used. And I feel like Ennis just loves to just troll because he can't stand
Yes, Josh is really good at a couple of things. Hosting radio shows is one of them. Trolling and getting under people's skins is another.
He always quote tweets me when I have like a take about something. He's like, "You New York people idolize this and that," and like sometimes I don't answer. Other times I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll play along. And I went back at him. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like he called MSG like an old dumpy arena. I'm like, it's been renovated a bunch. It's like a beautiful place to watch a game. The teams haven't been good, obviously.
Right.
But
it was renovated like 2 years ago. I think,
it's state of the art. Like there's not a better place, I believe, to watch a basketball game or a hockey game or go to a concert. Like MSG, say whatever you want about the teams there or the owner of the building, but the actual building is incredible.
Well, that's why.
But you're
all
biased.
the major concerts. Yeah, all the major, even biased. You got to think all the major concerts. You're who's who if you perform in MSG, bro.
There's different energy about the building. The lighting, it kind of feels like it's like, Times Square a little bit, your Broadway lights. And it's a really great place to watch a game. And obviously the Knicks fans been starving for relevancy. And, last night sounded as if it was, game 7 of the NBA finals. And it was a first round playoff game.
Yeah. And,
we do have to see this though.
Yeah, that's a little over the top. I agree.
But here's the thing, to Barrett's point. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was just going to say, you got to tell you guys, your fans, man. You guys got to act like you've been there before, man.
We haven't.
Well, they haven't been. They haven't been since Patrick Ewing. When are you going to go tell Pat Riley? Say,
let's go tell Pat Riley, hey, Pat, don't celebrate. All right? Don't go up and down the floor going crazy.
Was that games? That felt like game 7 of the championship.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the Knicks in the playoffs in 8 years. Since I've been a fan of the team, I don't remember the 90s Knicks teams. Like I saw one good year with Carmelo where they went to the second round and won 54 games. Like that's all I have. So, no one was expecting the Knicks to be any good this year. We're just kind of enjoying the ride. It's fun to actually root for a team that doesn't stink for once.
So if they had a bell to ring, would John Starks be brought back for game 5 to ring the bell?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a great question. You could bring back
John Houston.
Houston, Sprewell. I mean, Larry Johnson. I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know if Charles Oakley's welcome back, but we'd love to have him back from a fan perspective.
He's out on that. He's out on that, man. He is out on that, bro. I was talking about that, man. That, how do you not let Charles Oakley, he didn't talk to a lot of players are still scared of him till his day. Still scared of him.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the conversations going on with, Kwame Brown. Mm-hmm. They're talking about him and Charles Oakley and everybody else. Oh, you were more scared of Charles Oakley than I was. What kind of conversation is that to have? Oh, no, you were more scared than I was. No, I wasn't that scared, but at least I wouldn't have said something to him. How do you have a conversation about a man like that? My pops always told me, hey, if you're scared of a man, one of us got to leave this earth because I can't live my life in fear, man. I can't. And evidently, he has people scared of him to this day.
Now,
I don't want to fight him.
You see the PGF, the Philly Godfather, has weighed in on that tweet of you in Barrett's pool.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. PGF, Philly Godfather, chimes in and says you should see the pics of Shander from the Falwell House and Liberty University. Now, what is he referring to there?
I don't know. Jerry Falwell?
Yeah.
University? I thought Falwell's out. Isn't he? Didn't they bounce his ass out of Liberty?
I don't know. The only person I know that's at Liberty is Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
The only
Okay.
I don't know how long he's going to be there.
Stupid Limu.
He could have went to any college he wanted to last year.
By the way, can I just say this really quick? And I don't know. I'll get to the bottom of that PGF tweet. I promise. I did not forget it. Before we hit fake news, I cannot tell you how vindicated I feel after all the people who gave me crap for switching from the iPhone to this awesome Samsung Galaxy after the latest iPhone commercial. Have you seen this one now?
Well, yeah, I've seen it. It's about the, people like spying on you.
Yeah, right.
And I think it's a very clever commercial with the guy goes in and has a transaction and all of a sudden guy starts following him everywhere he goes and more people come in. and then they play that song, which was actually a song from the early 80s.
Delta 5.
Yeah, Delta 5.
It's an awful, terrible alt-punk song.
It gets in your head, though.
And I hate it, just like I hate that da-da-da-da-da-da-da song, and just like I hate that sauce stupid idiot in the kitchen fumbling his phone. And now you iPhone users are stuck with
mind your own business.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
Why don't you go mind your business?
I actually kind of like it.
Of course you do. I knew you'd like it. I knew you knew who they were. And by the way, that whole thing about this zapping the privacy of the apps, I'll explain in the break why that doesn't even work. But come on. You can't now tell me that you don't have just a little remorse about keeping your iPhone seeing the latest commercials coming out. You have to represent this crap.
Can I have a little bit of privacy?
Is that what the words are?
What's the like ice cream lyric? There's an ice cream
or something.
Can I have a taste of your
ice cream?
Yeah.
I am so thankful. So thankful. All right, fake news next here. It's the middle. All across the board. Like, share, subscribe. JAKIB Media YouTube. We're back on Sport Map as well.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
U.S. lifestyles. Appreciate that, Colin. Colin Berger just sent me the U.S. lifestyle immediate cooling.
Oh yeah, the picture.
yeah. And by the way, I had to go in and follow Joey B and all those guys. So
how about Joey B is in Hawaii,
right,
listening to a rerun of the show, and he was watching PTI. I ripped him. You're in Hawaii. What the hell are you watching, Tony Kornheiser?
Right.
No, man, that's going to New York City or Italy and eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's going to New York and eating Sbarro's for pizza.
Yeah. We overuse that a lot. That's why I didn't use that.
Only White Castle's there.
I do that. I use that a lot because it's the go-to for anybody who's familiar with The Office. The whole thing about Michael Scott eating Sbarro's. His favorite pizza place whenever he goes to New York. That's Joey B. Like, dude, you're in Hawaii. Hawaii. You have to say it properly or you're going to get a text from John Marks, Harry.
Is he with Aaron Rodgers and Miles Teller? Is that why he's there?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the Philly radio to link Miles Teller, who's an Eagles fan, to Aaron Rodgers, that he's out there recruiting him to come to be the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. 610.
Well, you know what? That'll fill 4 hours. I can tell you that.
Right.
We got fake news. Jake, you want to hang for this?
Oh, I love fake news. Ron Culver being put to the task of working hard. I'm in.
Yeah, well, just working.
You say faking work?
Yeah, just working. That's what we ask, and that's what we'll settle for. Our bar is not as high as you, sir. Ron, what do you got?
I got a story about a guy who has receipts to 2 different establishments.
That's got to be fake.
It's definitely fake.
There's no way that story can be real.
It can't be.
Look at him. He's holding it up. We got a text from our boss, from our program director out of Houston in Sports Map Radio, the network, Mr. Craig Larson.
Regarding Asman?
The text was positive to the point now where I feel like we can keep going with this bit.
Yeah,
we got basically the green light from Craig to keep going with it.
You got thumbs up.
All right. Now, what do you got today?
All right. We got
Appreciate it, Jackson.
3 stories, 2 are real, 1 is fake. You guys ready? To celebrate its purchase of MGM and its entire film library, Amazon is offering free mystery film-related gifts with every purchase. Gifts could range from a James Bond martini glass to Apollo Creed shorts to a plush MGM lion and other stuff.
Well, I can't get like the head from RoboCop.
Well, you could get I don't know if it's an MGM film, but you could get
I think it is.
You can get the head in the box from 7.
Wow.
If that's what's in the box. We still don't know.
Oh, what's in the box?
You didn't like that movie either, did you?
What?
7.
No, I liked 7.
Oh,
it's all right. I believe that.
I believe it as well because I do know that something is happening
between those 2 entities. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Still undecided right now.
Jake.
Right, number 2. No, Jake is on.
Yeah, I lean real. That seemed like a lot of information there.
Well, don't fool. As far as information, Ron is good at sliding stories where he just beefs up sentence after sentence to wear us down and think, all right, well, there's no way that could be fake. All right, let's look at 2.
Story number 2. A Texas woman jumped into a spider monkey enclosure at the El Paso Zoo to feed them hot Cheetos. She was promptly fired from her law office job.
Good. Idiot.
Justice served.
I hope that's true just because.
So do I.
Right.
But why hot? I mean, it's going to burn the monkey's mouth, man. She's wrong for that.
She's wrong for a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's assume that's true just because of how much we want to will it being true. Anything quickly on that story, Jake, you'd like to throw out or maybe ask before we move to the 3rd?
I just hope the animals are okay. I'm wishing them the best.
They're thirsty right now.
No animals were harmed.
Well, we don't know. Spider monkeys could be harmed, right? She jumped into the damn, nest?
No,
I'm going to be all over you
like an exhibit.
Spider monkey.
Exhibit at the El Paso Zoo.
All right, well, the exhibit. I didn't know what the technical term was for the actual.
In the nest.
Where the hell they live, I don't know.
Simplify it for you.
Okay, what's story 3?
Story number 3, Steak 48, a steakhouse with locations in Philadelphia, Houston, Chicago, and Charlotte, not only have a strict dress code, but also have a $100 minimum charge per person.
Well, we talked about
this yesterday.
So I'm going to assume this is a true story.
Yeah.
Unless you altered something to be super duplicitous.
I'm not going to alter anything.
Well, it was $100 minimum, and that was food and beverage combined, which makes it even more easily attainable.
Now, that was Philly. The ones here in Houston, I didn't see anything about it being 100, but I feel like it has to. If they're doing it in one location, why wouldn't they also?
Well, I don't know. You're paying 32 cents more for a stinking burrito bowl that's 6 blocks from one another. I could say that, Houston, they're only going to require an $80 minimum charge.
Right.
You know?
You make a salient point. We don't know.
I could see Jake going in there and telling the waiter ahead of time, look, I only want to spend $100.
Right.
That's it. So when I hit $100,
cut me off.
That's enough. And then I walk out.
But
right?
the tip isn't included. It's over and above the tip. So
yes, it is not included in your minimum. So we know that story to be real. So now we're down to a 50-50. And I think it's story 2. I really do. I think story. I've heard enough about the first story for it to be real. That's why I brought up RoboCop, where I'm going to go in story 2 just because it's the one I know the least about. That's my reasoning. That's my logic.
Okay. Do you think we would have already heard about this craziness in a spider monkey exhibit?
Why? Barrett is the animal guy here.
Right.
And he didn't hear about it.
No, so that's what I'm going with 2 also.
2
is fake.
Man. I don't even know if El Paso has a zoo. It could be fake right off of that. There's a zoo right in El Paso, Texas.
Could he have done this like where it's really the San Diego Zoo?
No, I'm going to give it. This is our last show before the entire program takes off, as far as like from JAKIB Media tomorrow. So
Jeff, you heard me.
That's all. I think this is straightforward. I think Ron wanted to get in, get out. This is, you're up by 20 after the first quarter. Put some reserves in. Get the hell out of here on a Thursday. Okay. Story 2 is fake.
That's where you guys are all leaning.
Is that the general consensus here?
I'm going to go story 1. Because I want so badly for this woman to have lost her job.
Yes. Okay, Barrett.
I'm going 2.
Jake.
2.
Ron.
1.
Oh.
Wow.
Now, MGM has been bought by Amazon.
Okay.
But there's no free gifts.
See, you did bite us on a technicality.
Chad, I'm going to be all on you like a spider monkey.
And yes, that lady got you-know-what canned.
Good.
Jumping into an exhibit, probably just for Instagram likes.
Right. That's the problem these days.
It's all for the TikTok. All right, we're back in 3. It's the middle. Jeez.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor, Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 to 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
My daughter has a flat, so she's waiting for me to come help her take the rim off.
What, she doesn't she doesn't have AAA?
She does. So she's gonna get it towed here.
Oh.
Yeah, but she
more work for you.
Yeah, well, her she never had she bought the car. She never had her brakes or anything done.
Auto Parts Studio. Here's Eytan
So the lugs are
Barrett Brooks and Harry Mays.
All right, so we're gonna wind down here. Final, really 20 minutes because Harry, myself, we're gonna bounce OT today, just for today, and unless Jake and Barrett want to take it over.
Maybe OT today should be Barrett fixing his daughter's car.
Yeah, she got a tire.
Could you do that? Could you just put the camera on it? We'll live stream.
People would watch it.
Absolutely.
I would, but this is the most irritating part about her car. She's never had the brakes done or the tires taken off. So it's been on the car for 6 years.
Ooh.
And they're like molded, they're so tight that you have to almost break the nuts to get off. So I had to break 3 nuts for her to get her wheels off. But now I bought a big breaker bar that I can take them off now. And I had to bought a special tool just so I could handle her car to break these nuts off.
See, now you would think, since you're
Break
such a
what off?
gearhead, yeah, that your daughter, your kids would be sort of in tune with knowing they got to get the car, maintenance done regularly.
Well,
but apparently not.
No, but she never had to because it never. I mean, her car is one of those hybrid cars. It runs off electricity and it runs off gas.
Yeah, but you still got to rotate the tires every once in a while, right?
Right. She doesn't drive it a lot.
Oh.
She drives. She's been door dashing this past year, to make a little extra cash here and there. So that's why she needs it now. And now I'm, getting into it because I hadn't had to do anything to it because she's been fine with it. I mean, it's been driving perfect. That car is perfect for her. It takes a little less gas. I mean, she'll drive on a tank of gas for a month, because it's half electric, half,
Right.
Perfect car for her. Perfect.
Wow.
But,
I don't know.
I got to come to the rescue again. I got to go in and fix it.
Not all heroes wear capes, Barrett. Well done.
Heading into Memorial Day weekend, Barrett's got to work on a car.
I'm telling you, it's
That's
gonna piss me off.
his.
Yeah. So it's gonna take me. I'm saying, I bought the new tool for it, so it should just be a flawless victory for me. But it's never a flawless victory. It's always got something to do with something else that has something to do with something else.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go in and change all the brakes on it while I have them off. I'm gonna change both sides and the front. I did both of the back, and I got tired of it. Now I'm gonna do the front, and I'm gonna change the brakes while I'm there, and all the lug nuts. I'm gonna change them while I'm there also. I'm just gonna give it the whole kit and caboodle.
Wow. Eytan, you need your car serviced. You might want to take it over there.
Eytan, you gotta get used to it, man, because you can be fixing your son's car. Watch.
No, he's going to learn how to fix his own car.
Eytan is too busy doing shows. He can't fix cars in the driveway.
Nope. Unless there's money in it, unless people, unless somebody's going to sponsor me to do it.
Right. It is money, man, because the amount of money you save yourself, it's crazy. Like they wanted to change the brakes on her car. She was going to go to Ford to get them changed. They were going to charge her $380 to change brakes. I bought the brakes for $50. Wow. All it takes my time to go out there and change them.
I look at that as it's my job to invigorate the economy, stimulate the economy.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a stimulus package.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
You're a stimulus package. Unbelievable.
Well, wait. Same with my kitchen. Paying somebody to do the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's not done yet. I have been living like a Viking. And you never know how badly you need a kitchen until it's gone. I mean, everything from I have a hose running to a makeshift faucet in the front that I can wash dishes with. I ain't got to go upstairs to cook and clean. Clean everything. I've been using a griddle, one of them stone, Blackstone griddles. I have an air fryer, microwave, a fryer, and one eye, and I have been cooking dinner, breakfast, lunch with these materials for the longest time, and it's the worst. You know what I'm saying? You never know how much you miss those type of things until they're gone.
I can't believe the boss lady didn't use this opportunity as a way to go out to dinner more and order takeout.
She's got a new knee. She can't go anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. The thing. He's taking full advantage of that.
That's right.
Right. So, I mean, she's got a new knee. What do you mean take advantage of it?
Barrett's exploiting the knee surgery.
No, that's more work. Running up and downstairs, bringing up ice packages, you know what I'm saying? Ice things for the knee.
Going and getting the Percocets.
Go get the Percocets, get the coffee, dinner, taking care of my mother-in-law. My grandson's here now.
You should go to Chipotle tonight and then exchange receipts with Asman and see how much you pay for a burrito bowl.
I might do it. Hey, Tuesday I'm gonna go get Chipotle. I'm gonna get the exact same thing, man, and I'm gonna see how much it costs. Probably up here, it's probably $1.30 more up here than it is down there.
Easily. I know in New York, the same order I get at Chipotle is at least like $2 or $3 more. Crazy.
Wow.
Which I'm fine with because I understand cost of living there is more expensive than it is here. What grinds my gears is that these Chipotle locations are within less than 2 miles of one another. It makes no sense.
This grinds his gears. 32 cents grinds your gears. Wow.
32 cents. What that 32 cents was going to do anything but sit in your car in the cup holder. That's what that 32 cents is going to do.
That is true, but you know what? Out of principle, once again, I am fighting for the voiceless. I am a voice for the voiceless.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
I get it. Well, there was a lot of voices in Madison Square Garden yesterday, man. And you think they're going to take the series?
I picked the Knicks at 6 before it started, just out of, I'm not going to pick against them at this point. I think they could do it. I mean, they're not going to win, though, unless Julius Randle starts playing like he did in the regular season. Like, even last night, he had a better third quarter, better second half, down the stretch, made a couple plays. But, he's still not what he was. Like, he's still not shooting the ball. He's the type of guy that maybe he needed a couple games to get acclimated to playing in the playoffs, and maybe, going on the road will be good for him. Less pressure of, having to be the guy at home with the crowd. So, if he plays like he's capable to, I think they could win the series. But if he plays how he did in games 1 and 2, I don't think they have enough without him playing at that level to get it done.
Right.
What's the line on the Lakers game tonight, Eytan?
It was off the board last night.
Oh, that's right. So it's still off the board.
I think we're waiting right now.
Chris Paul, I guess.
Yeah. Now you can get in on a couple, like some prop bets, and that's where I think the advantage is right now, where you can have some sort of angle where Chris Paul playing or not doesn't impact your prop bet, right? Like that's how I would look at it. But let me just see if this thing came back up on the board, at least locally here. Right.
Now, is he playing? So has he been ruled out or is he still playing?
Hasn't been ruled out.
Okay.
Hasn't been ruled out. NBA tonight, it's at 7. Again, I wouldn't touch this game until there is nothing forcing you to place a bet on this game right now.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, it's an in-game deal.
It's just wait.
Yeah.
We did the same thing in Barrett. So, Jake, last time these two played on game 2, we got a text from Barrett because he was watching before the game tipped that Chris Paul could barely lift his arm up to take his shirt off. I didn't even respond to Barrett yet. The first thing I did wasn't respond to Barrett. It was pound the Lakers money line. Same thing here. Like, just keep an eye on who Chris Paul is tonight. And if he's a dude who was banged up significantly, then stay the hell away from the Suns. If he looks healthy and he's moving his arm all over then you're fine. I think you take the 7, to be honest with you.
They can't win without him. I mean, it goes without saying.
I don't think they can stay in the game without him, Jake.
Be difficult. I mean, I think the Suns with Paul actually could win that series, which is crazy. But Chris Paul just makes everyone on that team so much better. And it's amazing to me, guys. He wasn't a finalist for the MVP award this year. He didn't come in the top 3. And I don't think you could I think you could make a strong case he could win the damn thing. I mean, where would that team be without him? He elevates everyone on that team.
Absolutely. And if he was healthy this last game, I think they would have won. That's why I'm kind of downplaying AD and what he did in that second game. Because if you look at it, he played his butt off and they barely won by 6 points?
Yep.
So Paul being there would automatically give him 10 more points. 10 more ways for somebody else to score. That's maybe 6 or 7 more assists. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them guys together.
Yeah.
And I think that, the Lakers played above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? They played a perfect game, and they barely beat them by 6.
How about the Heat tonight?
No, this is a stay away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Yeah. Because they beat them by 30.
Bucks are only favored by 1.5 on the
Why
road.
is that? I mean, what do they know that we don't know? Because they just got blew out.
The
What do they
money,
know?
the money on the public right now. So this is how you read it, for me at least. If you just looked at the money right now, you'd see 80% of the public betting accounting for about half of the money on the Bucks -1.5. Why? Because, oh my God, that line is insanely short.
Right.
Oh my God, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? So you've got that. Then you start to look, and that makes sense why the line would move from an opening of Bucks getting a point to now laying 1.5. But then you start to look at the breakdown of the money line. It is polar opposite. You've got 70% of the public action bets-wise on the Heat money line, and 2/3 of the money on the money line bets accounting for the Heat as well. So think about that. You've got very little action, less than 1/3 of the action on the Bucks money line, yet the line still moved in their favor. To me, I would stay away from Miami altogether, but then you have to ask yourself, well, you're only laying 1.5 right now. Don't you think it would be pretty simple or easy for Miami to be up 6 or 8 points at one point, and that in-game line now you're getting a bucket, you're getting 3 points, something like that. So unlike Philadelphia last night, unlike Brooklyn the other day, where if you didn't bet pre-flop, you'd never get as good value, I think here you kind of just wait. Let Miami get out to a 10-2 run. See what that line looks like. Let Miami be up after 1. See what that line looks like. Again, I don't feel compelled to jump in with the Bucks, only because, Harry, I think on the road, you'll find them maybe down early in the first or after 1. And then that all of a sudden becomes a +2, 2.5. And I'm good with that.
Hey, the Heat got to come out hot early.
Yeah, this is their season. They
Yeah,
can't,
this is it.
break. They're
Yeah.
done if they lose.
I mean, they were blitzed in the first quarter. And what game was that? 1 or 2 where the Bucks scored 46?
Two. Yeah, they busted 1,000 threes in the first quarter. The game was over. The game was over 10 minutes into the
and
first
they were
quarter.
bench guys that were hitting them.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I still don't see how it's just 1.5. I mean, that's crazy that they see that and they know something we don't know. How do they formulate these lines like this, especially with them winning the way they did?
They're the smartest guys in sports.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, think about it though. Like of all 3 games tonight, I don't even know if Denver Portland at 4 is one that you would jump in on. It just, none of these games tonight seem like a good smash for me before game.
Not an over in the Portland game.
I don't hate that. 227.
Yeah.
A little high. Again, if Chris Paul is playing, I think you hammer that over 211.5, right? I mean, if he's healthy to the point where they're not talking about this being an issue, I think you hammer that 211.5. But we talked about this yesterday. I just don't know how Chris Paul miraculously gets healthy tonight.
No.
I mean, he's probably getting treatment on it while he was sleeping.
Right, and they do that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Guys get it 24/7. I mean, you do everything you can. Ice, stem, massage, ice, stem, massage. We're talking about like every 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? They're doing something to try to
they
get
got
them
wraps for all those joints now. It's companies make those, man.
They got stem. They got everything you can imagine, man, to get it done. Like their rehab is so aggressive that he might come back. He just won't be as good as he was, as a if he was healthy. But he'll be at least be able to lift his arm above his shoulder.
I had this thing for my ankle, man, that velcroed around my entire ankle and foot, and then it plugged into this box. You turned the box on, and it felt like literal ice, the iciest, coldest ice.
Yes,
just surrounding your joint. Yeah, it was amazing.
It's tubes, and and they have a little box, and it's full of ice water.
Yeah, you put ice water in it.
Yeah, it pumps it through the ice, and it keeps it running, so the coldness stays there. It doesn't, and it takes literally like 15 minutes for you to get used to it. 15 minutes to get used to it. But you keep doing that every hour, every half an hour.
Yeah.
Then you go in, you put heat on it, and then you ice it again. You get heat on it. My rehab when I ripped my quad muscle from my kneecap, it was so intense, man. To at least they wanted to get me a point. Even they knew I wasn't going to play again, but they want to get me to a point that I can walk around and be okay. They don't have to worry about me anymore, so they could deal with players that were playing. So they were very aggressive in my rehab to try to get me to a point that I didn't need to come to the facility anymore. So they were icing, stemming, everything, man, trying to get you, to a point where you almost feel normal, like within a couple of weeks. Well, they can do it now that his shoulder, might be at a point now. And then they go in and they inject it with cortisone, give him a cortisone shot. So he might not be able to fix it. Now, he might mess everything up in his shoulder. That's what I did with my shoulder. Mm-hmm. But he'll still be able to, at least put his hand over his shoulder.
Just eliminate the Lakers.
Right.
We got breaking news coming up here. We're going to wrap the hour. Coming up next, it's the middle. All right, so Shams has tweeted out the Knicks have banned a fan who spit on Hawks Trae Young on Wednesday night. That came out 12:51.
All right.
There you have it.
Why are these games so late, man? I tried to stay up for the last game, the third game. I pulled a Harry, man. I was like, yo, I'm out on this. I'm gone.
Totally. I can't stand
10:30 start.
Those Utah Jazz orange uniforms.
Awful.
Oh, man. Terrible.
And then the Heat were wearing yellow uniforms.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
I know.
The Knicks were disgusting jerseys last night. They have a classic, the home whites at the Garden for a playoff game, and they're wearing these disgusting city uniforms that don't even look cool. They're awful.
I have to say the Phoenix City uniforms are pretty cool. Says the Valley on it, and they got their color scheme's pretty good.
Oh yeah. You know what I hate? I hate the Utah Jazz's logo. I hate the state, like the state Utah. It's just square blocks.
What about Utah says Jazz?
Right.
Well, it was the New Orleans Jazz is what it was. Change the freaking nickname. It's stupid.
Right. I don't know, man. I don't understand. I think that's the money line for Portland. I think it's right where it needs to be.
Oh, we got a statement, by the way, from the Knicks about the
you have it?
Person. Yeah, here we go. Statement
read it.
Knicks. We investigated the matter and determined that this patron, I almost said patron, who is not a season ticket holder, did indeed spit on Trae Young. And for that reason, he is now banned from the Garden indefinitely. We apologize to Trae and the entire Atlanta Hawks organization for this fan's behavior. This was completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in our venue. We have turned the information over to the appropriate authorities. All right. But that's ours.
You're in the clear, man.
See,
that's all
man,
we wanted.
That's what it is, man. I mean, you had to hand it over to the police just because with COVID and everything else. It's almost there. You have to, man. He just like you said, he had to pull his mask down in order to do it. And with COVID, man, come on, man. That's just like I try to cancel his Christmas.
LeBron James tweeted about the fan in Philadelphia.
What'd he say?
By the way, we as players want to see who threw that popcorn on Russ while he was leaving the game tonight with an injury. There's cameras all over the arenas, so there's no excuse. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, #protect our players.
No, don't add. This is like the serial killer who gets his own series on Netflix because people are so stupid and bored that they don't know how to fill their time. Stop glorifying. You can protect players without glorifying this. I'm telling you, man.
You're listening to The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I honestly, people that are on social media act a lot like they're not in real life. And I mean is that if this were a social media thing, what happened, like the spitting in New York or the popcorn in Philadelphia, it would just be hit with a constant cycle of, well, that's why you ban them to, no, you should be allowed to spit on somebody. And it just goes back and forth because it continues to be populated and back.
What?
And forth. Have you been on Twitter?
No.
Have you seen people stand up and say, just get over it?
Yeah, it was
I don't even
just
look at my emails.
popcorn.
Well, there you go. That's my point in all of this is stop putting a camera in front of the people that we want out of our society. If it's Sports Society or anything else.
Does that include me?
No.
For not reading email?
No, you're good. Jake, we love you, man.
Guys,
appreciate you, bro.
Jake, have a great weekend.
You too, fellas. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk.
Have a good Memorial Day. Yep.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We appreciate it. Also, have a great weekend to everybody. No OT. We're back on Tuesday. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Remember, everybody who made the sacrifice for us to be here. And beyond that, stay safe and eat a lot. Eat a lot.
Yeah.